Hello and welcome to Aberdeen, Scotland for the World Junior Curling Championships 2018. It's a fabulous Friday here in the oil capital of Europe. After a long week of round-robin games, we are ready for the playoff stages, hoping for more excellent curling and perhaps an added dash of drama and intensity. The curling will take place in Curl Aberdeen ice rink. This afternoon, it is China to play Canada in the 2 versus 3 semi-final of the women's competition. My name is Sander Ervog and I'm joined by Rona Howie to give you the play-by-play. Good afternoon, Rona.
Good afternoon.
Let's meet the teams. For China, we have Sun Chungyu at lead. Wang Mei Ni playing the second stones. Wang Xixin is skipping third, and throwing the fourth stones for China is Dong Xixi.
And for Canada, lead stones is Lindsay Burgess. At second, Carly Burgess. The third, Kristen Clark. And the skip for Team Canada, Caitlin Jones.
Those were the standings after 9 games of the round robin. Sweden on top. They play Norway in the 1 versus 4 semi-final. Will happen at the same time. We'll try and keep you up to date on what happens there as well during our game this afternoon. And that's how the teams will get there. The winner of the semi-finals will go to the gold medal game. The loser will drop down to the bronze. Easy enough, just like the Olympic format we saw a couple of weeks ago in Gangneung outside Pyeongchang. The teams are just getting ready. They've had their pre-game practice. Canada would have the choice of getting the last on advantage for this game, and they have chosen that. Canada will throw the yellow. China will throw the red stones, and it's China to get us started here in this 10-end contest. Sun Chungyu with the lead stone, looking for the center guard here early on. Sometimes we do see teams come into the house here, allow your opponent to hit. We get a very open end for teams to settle nerves, but China quite happy to get the ball rolling, get the game started. And Canada as well, looking to come around with a draw instead of drawing to the side. So both teams interested and getting some stones in play from the very start. Lindsay Burgess throws the first one. Are you surprised to see them go at it early on here in the first end?
No, I think it's good that both teams want to take the game on, and they've had 9 minutes practice each, so they know the ice, they know the speed. So just go for it.
I think sometimes, typically, in the playoff games, teams are a little more cautious at the start.
My feet feel wet. Yeah.
But for the neutral viewer, it's lovely to see some offense already in the first end. It's a much more open end between Sweden and Norway in the other semi-final.
As well this week, you know, they've played 9 round robin games, and the ice has been very consistent all week. It's the same curl and the same speed, so it's not difficult for them to go for it at the beginning. They don't need time to settle into the ice and find out what it's doing.
Either that or the wing, and we just make sure we're a T or deeper. Yep. I like that.
As long as it doesn't jam when we peel.
Yeah. Like you can.
Let's get the raw clock up here. So we've been looking at around 14.5 seconds for a draw. Now this is the first end coming down the center line, where they've usually play a bit less in practice because they usually tend to draw the forfeit a bit more. Let's see if it's still quite keen down this path. 13-7 with some light sweeping does bring it to the back. So again, just very keen all over the sheet. You might see that quicken up even a bit more after a couple of ends.
Hey, Shetlands.
No draw shot challenge before this game, so the teams might have played the stones a bit more spread out. Wang Mengni throwing the second stones for China. Look to hit the stone on the wing and try and roll back to the center line, but this one just over curling. Does enough though to remove the yellow.
If yours is a 13.5, it's definitely going to slide better because we swept that right from your hand.
Yeah, these two teams played each other in the very first round robin game. So at that point, they probably were still finding out what the ice was doing.
I gave that a lot.
Carly Burgess will throw the same line down here. Even with Canada having first practice, they were quite happy to play the draw around the center now to the wing. And they've made the shot, so quite clear that they're comfortable with the ice. But here a mistake by Carly Burgess, cousin of Lindsay, the lead.
Yeah, the finish is real hard there.
What was that?
12-3.
I didn't need to extend then, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, I think your kick was fine.
5、6区的力量就可以啊。我知道。你得7区。对，我就是大点就。哦，5、6可能不太够。力量好7。在那儿站。哇哇哇！7。哇哇！7个。All right。力量快点。
Gonna have to work this one hard.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Looking to tap that red onto the yellow. Overcurls a bit. It's still tough for Canada to remove that second shot.
Just hit and flop away.
Are they one?
Yeah. You have all of it, right?
I have all of it. Yep.
Even flop away is probably not bad.
I think it might jam is what she's thinking.
Okay. Like you can.
You can see it's edge to edge with that top red, so very tough to get to that stone next to Caitlin Jones's brush. Having to come very close to the red stone in that blue 12-foot circle. Big sweep to try and hold the line here, keep it from curling. Will over curl and catch that stone. And the shooter rolls out as well.
10-7。
Okay.
这边再选一个呢。你这么旋粘上一个也行，或者把这个2往正着传一点，然后头留上头，让它这么大的相关球。这边先传，下一个球再处理大这个，因为它这个打一个打不好就是相关。我要传不好的话，容易给它磕散开，行吗？这边全粘。磕散开的话，我感觉这个位置稍微好，这边粘没走，可能场地涩一点，力量提一点。我力量稍微提一点，稍微往后磕一点。还是稍微涩一点这边。木头。这边粘一个。OK， 这边粘一个。那边磕一个，磕不好的话，我怕它。相对来说掉的会大一点。加油！然后稍微提点力量。稍微提点力量。几区？5、6。
We'll have our first look at skip.
36.85。
And throwing third stones, Wang Xixin. I'm not sure if your Mandarin is all that, Rona, but what are they thinking about doing here?
No, I'm afraid I'm not very good in that language. Yeah, so they're just trying to draw right round the other side. They're quite happy where the red is. They can use it that's on the centre line, so they're just going to come round the other side and try and sit in the 4-foot.
OK， 好球。OK。
They talked about just freezing the top of the yellow or coming round it, but just did neither really, just caught the top yellow. But it isn't in a bad position because they can now raise that top red onto the yellow.
Yeah.
10.5.
Okay.
The only downside is it now leaves Canada with a hit and roll in behind cover.
This is Christine Clark.
10.
Been third for Canada 2 years back as well. Picked up the gold at the World Juniors with Carolee Burgess. Only half of that team on the ice this afternoon.
Okay.
As that one just rolls away.
9-6. Okay.
And when you get to playoff games, that last on advantage really is crucial, and you want to make use of it. So Canada will be really keen to score their 2.
什么力量？正常。打一个正常。OK。击打正常。OK。
再打外脚一点吧，打往外摔。
对，尽量能稍微往你这边偏点。
There's often quite a tendency
点嘛。
to see maybe the upweights curl a tad more in the first end, and still the pebbles a little fresh. But just very, very slight layer of frost on the ice. Just makes the stones grab a bit more. And you might see that straighten out a little bit after a few ends are played and they've swept a bit more. That finds a really good line here. Wang Sishin to sit 2.
我这一边冲我上，我冲我后补。
11. Okay. We kind of hold. You guys held
没有，我
Okay.
我
Just sort of.
外边头往那甩，然后我那上去
就稍微倒偏进外点。
然后我一看这线中线了，我说
Tana! Whoa. Whoa. 11. Whoa. Whoa. 10 times. Other way. Okay. Me? Whoa. Just let it come up. Whoa. Let it come up. Hard over. Hard over. Hard over. Hard over.
So hoping to roll in behind cover.
10.5.
That sits pretty much in the open for second shot.
Almost. I should have went harder.
Good
I was
sweep.
like, not really sure what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do it, then like,
力量都11秒多。往往就是10秒，10秒，10秒，加油，打定就行。过了站位就不擦了。好。
Just about edge to edge with the guard. Would love to make the nose hit. Not roll towards the wing and leave a double for Canada here. Dong Sishi. Catching the guard is not a good result either. Safely past the guard, but does then make that roll. Might leave a double for Canada if they want to take it on.
Yep, well, you might be able to catch the double and roll over the top.
Way too like coming.
10秒17，这样不行。
That's like a 9-5. And just ice for that.
Probably there then.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Nice and positive, like you can.
Can you get the double and the roll, or will it jam if you make the perfect roll in behind cover?
Okay.
I think it's likely to, where they're looking at, they're saying get the double or we can get the roll perfectly, because they would roll but
I roll right over.
not perfectly behind cover, which is what they want to do, to try and generate a 2. So I think the roll's probably more important right now to put the pressure onto China.
9.
There is Caitlin Jones,
9.
skip of the Canadian team,
Whoa.
and throwing the last 2 stones.
Whoa. Whoa.
Double or the roll.
Yep. Oh. Roll it.
Does make the roll, but does jam, as did sort of expect with that angle. Only sits for second shot, but it is pretty buried.
咱们那个紧。对啊。这个紧，这么选，咱们脚。他选死就行啊，他投的事稍微高点，没有他大包角就可以。你哪怕投到这儿来都行。这点。
China not just ignoring that yellow.
Yeah, they do lie shot the other side, so if they can draw around one here and then turn into the 4 foot on the other side, as long as they cover the inside not to leave a double takeout, then certainly put the pressure onto Canada if China are lying 2. And they've already come down this side and this end. So they know the ice, they know the weight.
Get the raw clock again. Being the first end, coming all wider here. You might see it be around 14 seconds. Maybe not as quick as 14 and a half. Just quite yet.
That's drawing fast though.
哦，没有了。
Weight didn't look too bad there, just over curled.
13秒81。你力量
That has now left the shot for Canada to score 2.
这边掉线当他色一直没人投过。让你收点好。不收那点也小。
And that was where the importance of Canada's first stone there to get that roll perfectly, to really try and create their 2 at this end. It's a great result.
我刚才想让你拿这边投一个。
No set to score 2. Very much in control here. A dead nose hit. That's a score of 2. Perfect start for Team Canada. And the first end here.
9-4.
Yeah.
So yeah, can probably just
2-0.
curls. Yeah.
9 ends to go.
There, curls.
Okay, just to be patient there because we
Yeah.
missed a few. Mine's a little tight. Top 8! Top 8! Top 12! Yep. Really gotta go. Really moving.
With Canada scoring 2, it means they start the second end.
It's like,
We're over curling.
I think they were looking to come into the house here with that lead.
Okay.
Comes up a bit short,
Soft
leaves
with that
a guard.
release, it looked like.
Yeah.
Like she kind of held it.
China
So
doesn't have a guard to come around, but they'll choose to throw a corner guard. What's the advantage of doing that?
So China have got last stone at this end. They want to keep the centre as open as possible. Try and get play out to the wings. Try and create a 2 back at this end.
哦，暂停就可以啊，暂停。线路 OK， 暂停就行。暂停，不用擦了啊，暂停。下大了。好球 ，OK 可以。球。
It's a wee bit longer than they probably had wanted, but it does give cover out in the wing.
right out to it.
So you can see Canada coming around the guard the other way, so that if it doesn't bury and stick out a bit, it's not easy for China to hit and roll behind their corner.
top 4! Top 8! Yeah, line! Top 12! Line!
Sweeping this one hard to get it past the guard. Yeah, just nix it.
I got 14.
Well, weight wasn't too bad there, just maybe a tad soft on both those throws. Definitely on the first one. You could hear Caitlin Jones saying it's a little bit soft on the release. What does that mean?
So when the ice is curling nicely as it is here, you need to put a really positive handle on it, or the stone, as the weight's coming off it, the stone will start to glide rather than curl. So they just lose it. So you can see this has got a positive handle with the number of rotations that's coming down the ice.
Actually doesn't curl enough there. Seemed to be a little more positive than the first one there from Sun Chungyu. And that's important too, to throw your stones the same every time, so the skip can expect what's coming.
Absolutely, especially for the sweepers too, to be able to judge the weight. Canada like a roll here, but just hit it on the nose.
9-5, just tight. Yeah.
Running a bit out of rings here though. China can't make the hit and roll off of that yellow. They wouldn't be in the rings.
你使用这边旋管稍微有点别，因为它这个球高。那就这样选也行。
Could make the hit and roll in behind the centre guard and also open up the path to that corner. But in the end, they'll just draw around the centre guard. There's a bit of a tight port between those two yellows.
It is. I think the hit and roll certainly looks the easier shot at the moment.
Well, that's quite evident with the Chinese. Their technique is impeccable. But, sometimes you wonder if the tactics are just a little bit behind some of the other nations. We see Xu Yu, coach for Team China. They do have Marcel Rock there in the middle, world champion for Canada. He's been in China for a number of years, and you'd think he would have some excellent input, especially from a tactical standpoint, and just what to expect coming into these championships with so much experience.
He brings massive amount of experience into, you know, some of these players for China have only been playing 6-7 years, and as you say, they were slightly behind. Very good on the technical side of the game, but the tactical just takes a bit of time to get used to.
There's Andrew Atherton that coached the
13.5.
Canadian team when they won that title 2 years back.
Yeah. But that was like,
Then at
that's
that point, skipped by Mary Fay.
yeah,
It's back 4. Back 5.
it's in the.
And it was, I believe, Andrew Atherton to approach Caitlin Jones.
It's still like 4.
And she moved to
Yeah, I think so.
Low 14. 14.
her province if she wanted to take over the team. At that point, it was Christine Clark who was skipping. And she stepped back down to that third role she prefers. And they've done well. Made it to the semi-final here. Only China standing in the way of getting to the gold medal game.
Top
Do you like
12
here?
isn't bad, yeah.
Top 12.
Open.
China there just had to open things up. It was getting a bit cluttered in the centre when they've got last stone.
Yeah, tight's okay.
Yeah.
Did actually nick the Canadian stone in the forefoot. Didn't remove it from play, but it has opened up things. But Canada still lie 2.
Top 12 on its own. Mine really finished here.
Yeah. Just top 12.
Top
guys.
12 on its
Just
own.
top 12. Just top 12.
Top 8.
Top 12.
Top 4.
It should come down.
Trying to stop.
Just wanted this
Top 8.
top of the 12-foot, biting the rings to block the way in.
14-1.
Okay.
So China have cover at both sides,
14-1.
so they can hit and roll off this either way.
OK，
加油！
这个球不能拿试试，试试怕那边有相关，又稍微有点别。
A very impressive run for Wang Xixin and team at the World Junior B Curling Championships in Finland in January. Won all their games, 10-0 record, and won the championship and qualified to come here. And now they're in the playoffs as well. They've had an incredible run. And this is an incredible shot here by the skipper. Long hit and roll in behind cover.
Run back?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Yep.
9.5.
Okay, 9-5. Let's go.
Let's go, Chris. Make it good.
Yeah, a great hit and roll, but there's a Canadian stone out front, so they can raise this back.
Whoa! 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 Girl.
Oh, just nicked it, but didn't remove it. Actually tap it in for shot. So China do have cover on the other side. They can draw around. They want to put this one on the tee line level with their red so that there's no double. Looking a bit steamy at the moment. This needs to stop.
I've seen the draws tend to track just a little bit down the centre line.
You don't want to roll out if it's okay. Yeah.
There's less curl then,
and
then just because of that they travel a bit farther.
Close rolls.
Yeah, so if you've got a piece of ice where it's swinging a lot more, you need that extra running on the weight just to get it there, because it does start dying quicker.
It's a longer way to get there too.
If we can just roll a little bit, that'd be good. Yeah. The farther we roll, easier it is for them to roll.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What kind of weight?
Like 9.5. Okay. Because we're better to roll out here then.
Yeah.
Canada don't want to jam this on their back yellow. They want to hit the red and roll over to the left. She plays that really nicely. Great shot.
What was that? 9-5.
Okay. That's exactly what we didn't want to do.
Probably just a 10 there, because you only missed the back one by an inch. Like, we couldn't get off that much more.
I think even if we picked our back one though and stayed with it.
Okay, well then we know.
So China definitely looking for the hit and roll here. They're lying 3 against. They can roll to the left behind the guard. Or even if they rolled to the right and sat on top of the other yellow, wouldn't be a bad result. And just really hit it on the nose with a very slight roll in, but Canada can see the whole stone.
That's pretty good.
So we just gotta watch that back one there.
Even if we jam, we're still 3.
Okay.
Well, that answers that question. So they can,
So it have to be like just.
if they get a wee hit and flop here in behind the guard, force China to draw for 1. So a good position for Canada to be in, taking a 2 at the first end and potentially lying 3 here.
Okay, keep it Christian. Okay.
Oh, wobbly coming out the hack there, didn't like the slide.
10! 9.5! Whoa, whoa!
Whoa, Carly.
Hey,
Does jam it.
just an odd throw, like she slid
They
like
do
on the
lie
side of
3.
the rock.
That was bad slide.
I think she was just sliding a little tight on the brush there.
When you said jam, I thought you meant
See,
to
a little wobble,
It's like we're never jamming.
Yeah, that's
sliding a little tight and then throwing it back out.
Did you get it back?
Yeah, great result. Forces China to the 1.
Leaves a nose hit
Horrible.
for Dong Se-shi. Facing 3 though. Semi-final World Juniors. It's always a bit of added pressure with that. Although this should be a routine shot. This one hanging wide though down the centre line. Will it curl enough in time to get there?
Played a bigger weight than Canada did.
Does hit and will stick just enough there for Team China. They score 1. They will trail by the 1 as well. Canada up 2-1 after 2 ends of play here in Curl Aberdeen.
中线这儿比那块儿还直，我觉得，一直勾着中线一点。
Team China will be looking to throw the center guard.
自然停，自然停，easy。
They are trailing in the game.
自然停1
You
吧。
would quite like to
2去。我
see some stones in play.
我不带他了。
This one pulling up way short.
2。Let's go, Lindsay, got it.
Like you can.
那个是1区，不是2区。
好球。右下。
I gave that some.
Top 4. Top 4.
Easy, easy.
Top 4.
T-line right now. T-line.
Top 4. All you. Lions ready to go. Yep.
So this is an example where Canada went up with a hammer. They could have drawn out to the wing to keep things open, but they're happy to come round and put the pressure onto China.
Ball there for sure. Going sideways.
Yeah, it did that in the first end too. Like you had your one that was like, it was good, and in that same spot it really went and like stopped.
So China's just drawing around the other side. You get more cover, but this is really curling fast. She got the weight to pass the yellow. No, just rubs off it.
Started playing curling in
Or roll away.
2009.
Yeah, roll away's pretty good.
Sun Shengyu, same year. Wang Bingyu won the World Women's Curling Championship,
What weight here?
11.
which was held in the Olympic Arena, Gangnam Curling Center. Maybe an inspiration to these young girls.
11.
She also went on to win bronze at the Olympic Games the next year in Vancouver. Important for curling's development to have successful teams at the Olympic Games and the bigger championships.
Yeah, huge inspiration, as we've just seen from Pyeongchang, that with the Korean ladies team getting to the final, the interest in the sport was massive in the country. So from a development point of view there's going to be a lot more taking up the sport, wanting to give it a go.
I believe the American girls here this week were also quite inspired by Team Schuster's gold medal.
And I think the Olympic Games is great for the sport because of the coverage it does receive on TV, and more people follow it when it's at Olympic Games. Just hits and rolls out there. Is it going to hang on? Ooh, just biting.
10. Like you can.
Just be ready for it to go here.
Nice and positive.
So it is a great window of opportunity for a minority sport every 4 years when it gets that coverage at Olympic Games, to make the most of it
9-5.
Close.
and have come and try days and really get people involved in the sport.
Yes! Hard! Hard to stay! Hard, Chris! Hard!
Sit.
Sit!
Okay.
Just enough to sit two, I think, for Canada. Canada, of course, the biggest curling nation in the world, with around 1 million active players.
Are we second?
Yeah.
Lots of TV coverage all through the winter. One of the biggest sports in the country since the Scottish brought it over a couple of 100 years back. Really rose to fame through the 18 and 1900s.
Yeah, we were very generous sharing it with Canada. Oh, unlucky there, just a wee rub and take the back one.
Just good. Full 8.
Yeah. Want to come this way or this way? I don't mind this way.
Okay, right out to it here.
Like 14?
Yep.
I didn't give that any. I didn't give it any. I think you gotta go. Line, yep.
Canada coming around the centre guard.
Yep.
Yarling won on the open wing with last stone.
Hard, gotta be second.
Yeah, I wonder about drawing the other wing and just lie two spread apart.
Easy.
Yeah, you think if you ever come up short here, you might leave some room for China to come around.
Yeah, both sides are just
If you come
really-
deep, leave them something to freeze to. This one actually over curls. Might have left a double for China.
这球打，反正打定也
Yeah,
有。
because ideally that would have been a perfect start for Canada. Take a 2, force a 1 and, you know, build a 2 here. So to put it in the other wing and keep it open, I think would have been a more productive shot there than trying to come around the centre.
Especially with the guard being so long, even if China comes around it, you'll have a very good chance of coming at it.
这边有点直，不用往上送太大。
Because it's almost fully open. Wang Xixin would like to catch less than the whole rock here. Just a piece and spring over, get that second one. Just not quite. Leaves the same for Canada. Haven't considered drawing the wing, still looking to come around the centre.
It's caught that too thick. She wanted to lift the double there.
这边应该是有掉线的。就是你忘了第一局我跟他们打的那个球都掉下来了。那还哪有事儿呢？就中线其实它有掉线。就这两。
Top four, line's good.
All you.
Weight's good.
Just top 8. Looks like lots.
Yeah, top four.
Just drawing this round the centre guard again onto the 4 foot.
Sit down, sit down. Nope, 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 nope. It's coming down.
They don't want to go back tee and plays that pretty perfectly.
Just slide further here and then digs. No, but then once you get in, it digs because it takes it right.
The double's not there in the yellows. China could hit the winger and roll across.
可是我感觉这边旋转也可以啊。OK。
Chosen just to go for the freeze.
Well, what does that
我
accomplish?
就站不上也得赢那个。
So she could be forcing Canada to take their 1 here. But it also gives her an opportunity that she'll have a shot to play. The skip stones that they can use their own red.
线路大一点。6，线路很大。下线踩它，如果力量够的话，别擦。力量够。
Hanging a bit wide at the moment.
A long way to curl. Dependent on the weight now.
Yeah, it was important to get in there for a second shot at least, but leaves Canada sitting 2 still.
And it's not in a great position for China to use to tap up because it is
Kind of like that. It's a really hard guard.
pretty well buried behind the guard.
I think
You
so,
can
Kate.
just see half of it.
Okay. What do you think on this side?
I think this side's quicker.
Yeah, I agree.
14 and a half.
Okay. So just nice and easy.
Yeah, let's go.
Just watch for that spot. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
So an opportunity now for Canada to bring in a third counter.
You can hear the Canadians saying 14 and a half seconds would be good for the draw.
T-line, T.
See how close
Really moving.
Kristen Clark
Finally.
is to that. Really starting to break here though.
Hard push.
13-7 should be enough weight, but working this for the line.
Hard roll.
And just over curling.
That,
Weight wasn't too bad.
man. That just
打定，然后
goes. Like, that's
奔拉
ridiculous.
豆，大奔 double 的。
Yeah, it did seem to
切。
curl a bit more than ordinary there.
And there's been a few today that have caught them out where they've just rubbed off guards that
那都是
might be just curling a fraction more
山
than
东
they
打定也可以。
expect.
过了站位就得放，打定。嗯。行。正常还是大力？正常9秒。好。
They're on this very early. Doesn't want to catch the centre guard.
哇，兄弟妹
And that's just what she's done. Big opportunity now for Canada. Can lie 4. They have last stone advantage.
That's what I'm thinking.
We just don't want to leave her like a triple or something. Do you ever just like touch it that way a little bit? Like, do you ever just go like this?
If we could cross it a hair, that's pretty good.
Or this
And
way?
then if she ever makes that run, then you'll have your shooter in a good spot.
So like just this?
Yeah, like cross it like 7/8.
Yeah, but we don't
But
want
with
to
just like
we don't want to tap it too deep.
no, just like top 4 T-line weight.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that.
Okay, so
Basically what she just threw.
okay. Oh, I just bumped this a little bit.
Oh, I already have bigger girl.
Okay, I just touched this a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
Same kick here, Kate.
Okay. Let's go, Kate.
Looking to bump this Yellowstone at the top of the house, I think.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful to not just bump it straight back and leave something for China to freeze onto.
Becky!
Whoa, then.
Becky!
Whoa,
Lots.
whoa.
Right around.
Let it come up, then.
Head around. Coming down.
Whoa, still got a curl.
Just tee, just tee. Curling.
Hard finish.
See that big finish in the end here. We'll get a bit of a tap.
That's fine. It's not bad.
13-5.
We do lie 4.
Good call.
We might have to see China come
That really came off. Yeah.
around all of it.
Spot there, Kate.
They're looking at maybe lifting a triple here.
That's so crazy. Like
Yeah.
it just like does.
你什么大力？
Definitely on.
If she makes it,
7秒8秒还是超大力？稍微掉点线，不能打
13-5.
Do you think it would have been good way for drop? Or low
Probably
drop?
T-line. Probably T-line back button.
So
Yeah, good draw right round to the back of the forefoot.
Well, that was probably similar. So.
That's kind of for the game though. If you missed
Yeah,
that, you're
because
giving
they
up.
have got a straight race here on the yellows if they did go behind. It's a tough shot this to get a triple.
Yeah, definitely needing to throw some heat down here. Dong Xixi. Catch it in the perfect spot. How many can she spill here? 1, 2, only 2. Not even 2. Jams in the back. Well, sits for 4th shot. We'll see if Canada, right, I believe so anyway. Canada can make the hit for 4 and just throw for 3.
You know the line for it. Exactly.
你大力下不说不让你塞，你上个是因为
We'll look to play the hit. Oh, unlucky there to catch in the back. That's a great chance for Canada to score 4 points here.
too, so.
Yeah. We might go on to ours, so. Yeah, let's go. 9.5.
Last stone of the third end. Caitlin Jones
9.5.
needs to at least hit the red here.
Harley for
Harley.
Does catch the red. Where does the shooter roll to? Just underneath.
Okay, just a 9.
It will just be the 3. A slight let off for China,
3 yellow.
but Canada with a very commanding lead already after 3 ends. It is 5-1.
Really positive.
9.
9. Okay.
Yeah, nice slot. I like that throw. It's
That's
just
good,
fun.
because I thought
yeah.
I was...
Yeah, the throw was good.
Okay.
Just a little
Just a
less
lot.
than it would have probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's good, guys. That's all we need.
Almost caught her.
5-1 for Canada through 3 ends in this semi-final at the World Junior Curling Championships.
Hard, Chris! Hard.
The other semi-final, we see Sweden playing Norway. Sweden scored a 2, but Norway scored the 2 back. It's tied after 3 ends. China have it all to do here. Very important for lead Sun Xingyu to put these corner guards up. If China wants any offense.
Okay.
That first one finds a good spot. Canada not allowed to remove that stone for play as it sits in the free guard zone for now. We'll have to wait one more to start peeling those guards, Canada.
So, a few feet more.
Lindsay Burgess, she's an engineering student from Nova Scotia. This one's really curling on them. They wanted just to nose tap it. It just comes off the inside of it.
14 and a half. Okay. Just so much curl on the forehead.
打，我觉得扎应该也行。你扎应该也是停在前区，然后在前方向往出打呗，后头再打。
How aggressively will you have to play here if your team China 4 down and 7 ends to go?
Still 7 ends to go. As long as they get their 2 back here, you know, they're only 2 down. So keep taking 2s with a hammer and forcing 1. The game's absolutely still there, but they really need to try and get their 2 back here. They don't want to go too clever and then suddenly lose something else against the head. So just play for a simple 2. But peeling off your own corner's not one of the better options.
Taking off the only stone that is helping China.
Or this.
And I think they could have frozen in there amongst the yellows or drawn even behind their corner or put up another corner. But hitting when you're 4 down isn't going to really benefit you too much.
Well, they were calling the draw at some point. I went away from it.
Back.
Just doesn't touch the barrier, so stone remains in play.
Like, could not shoot that. Man, I saw it still there. Even on that one, it came up.
Looking to throw another corner guard. Throws it to the other wing this time. There is a catcher on that yellow to the right. Makes it just a tiny bit harder for Canada to peel.
Just half.
Came a little bit too deep, if anything. We'll have to catch this very thin to jam it on the stone on the wing there. Able to avoid the jam. At some point, China's going to have to make a play on these yellows, either freeze or come around them. Throwing the corner for now.
别擦了，别擦了，这他赢了。
好球，
好球。
Again, this may be coming a little bit too deep again. Makes the peel quite easy for Christine Clark.
往哪个后面选？往这个后头选，因为那俩特别近。
Oh.
Ready, curl up.
Oh, does she have a piece here? Just enough. Jams it. But the red will spin out the back door.
So Kristen Clark's sporting idol, Rachel Homan.
Well, she's done quite well
不行的话站
for
着也
herself
行。
at a young age, so why not?
选一个。
Yeah, definitely.
我在想，用边区选。
I think you'll see quite a few of the athletes this week have Rachel Homan as their sporting idol. You've seen Jennifer Jones as well.
给我一半一半点。300还是385？
8085。85肯定不行，80，8075。
线路没有停线。
我。稍微有点小，还可以啊。
But skip
线路够了。
Wang Zixin,
拍他俩。
sporting hero as Mike McEwen.
全力，插住了，美宁 hard， 再来再来 hard。
The curler out of Manitoba, Canada.
Oh, just rubbed that top one. Her weight was really good for coming round.
力量挺好的。
不是他后期往下扎的挺大。
力量非常
Pretty
好。
good.
Okay,
Yeah, that's 13.6.
right up here. Should come up, huh?
What kind of weight?
9, right out, but I'm guessing it'll move a bit.
Yeah, nicely played.
I think I like that better than
击
my
打
dad.
吧，
I thought I threw that
不
fine.
能再往里整
Yeah,
了。
I say like that better because we get so much to run in.
Yeah. That's fine.
Good throw.
China really have to try and force an error from Canada, and leaving them an open hit's probably not going to give them that. To even try and draw around or wick off that outside one
稍
on
微
the
快
left
点
there.
行吗？
Just try and draw through there to the back of the forefoot,
那个右边这个。
back 8 foot even.
Looks like they might be trying to bail out and get a blank. You might wonder if it's a stone too late, though, needing to make 2 doubles here. And or get a mistake from Canada. Does just make the first double. Leaves the shooter as well, actually.
Yeah, not a bad result.
Just on the field.
Yeah.
Canada have to decide whether they ignore that and
Well,
just.
the intern makes it, yeah.
But I think you'll see her peel it
Yeah,
off.
it'll come up, but I like it with
It's
heel.
good forcing 5.
这边
Yeah, that's mission accomplished for China, actually.
那个点，他后期掉特别。
Canada peels this and rolls out.
有点搭好了，然后出手。
They'll get their blank. They can try and set up
He's not pulling on the ice, so just
a little bit better in the next end. Didn't get the greatest start after Sun Chungu peeled her own corner guard.
let's go, Kate. Straight up. Nice and clean.
Caitlin Jones having a great game today so far. 92%. Just trying to peel this red off.
Good.
And does that nicely.
It's okay.
你选不死人一打，你要粘上的话，人直接投一个比你近的，把打掉这就是。
7-7, and it's still got like a solid half a rock.
下一局再打。加油加油！
It will be the open hit. for Dong Sishi. Try and keep this in the rings. Gonna make sure not to over curl and jam on that back yellow. Oh, be awfully close. He's able to avoid it. Leaves the shooter in play. Canada will attempt to do the same, and then China will have a chance to blank this end, retain the last one advantage, try again in the 5th end.
9.5. This side curls quite a bit too. Yeah, I like that. Even if we were to roll out. But let's get it right on the nose. Yeah, right to it.
Yeah, let's stick it, Kate. Let's go.
Nice and crisp. Let's go.
Just a touch more.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I like that.
Just 9.5 here, Kate.
Just easy 9. 9.5. Yep. 9.5. Yep. 9.3. Right to it. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Good. 9.5.
Very clinical end here from Canada.
I don't know.
So China really need to blank this end now and get into better situation at the next end. And plays that out nicely.
Yep, so blank end. Score remains the same.
Blank again, just let them run it.
Yeah, just 2 ends.
Both teams quite happy, but Canada is up 5-1.
Mine's good, all you. Easy. Mine's perfect. Starting to go now. Yep. Only top four.
Canada goes again.
Perfect. Really moving.
With that 4-point lead on China, it's the Chinese that has it all to do.
Nice.
Taking a look over the other semi-final, we see Sweden scoring a 3 on Norway. They're up 5-2
Yeah, I know.
after 4 ends of play. Sweden undefeated so far, the round robin. Reigning world champions. Big favourites to go ahead and win again. Looking pretty good against the Norwegians. Might be playing the Canadian team. They've got a bit of control in this game here.
Well, China have got 1 corner up so far at this end.
Line's good. Yep, gotta go line. Gotta go wave. Yep. Top 8.
Canada want to put this one in the rings. They don't want to leave any cover out front. That'll help China.
Short. Let it sit if it's short. Okay. 14-6.
So that one does pull up short and doesn't cover the Canadian stone either. It's in the 4-foot.
给一点力量，你就进不去，你就进不去。
So China just going to put up a second corner guard.
赛球啊，顶线一直擦，顶线一直擦，嘿。
Try and give themselves an opportunity to
勾进自然
create
艇
a
吧。
two.
再擦一点。擦一个嘿，可以再来呀，擦到嘿。勾进自然艇吧，下大了，勾进自然艇。好球，
下的一点都不大。
但是你得看他选
Long
死
guard.
选到这儿来了已经。
还行。
可以。
I like this one.
I like this one.
This one's harder to use right now.
Okay. Like you can.
Canada will just now want to remove all these guards. Just take the long one off first. Got a better chance to lift the other ones later on.
Hard, Reno. Hard, Kate.
Did win the round robin game. Team Canada.
Okay.
Canada's only lost to China once in the women's competition at the World Juniors. That was back in 06. Mandy Seltzer lost to Yu Sun.
不好，可以磕一个，头往这儿走。
And for Team China, this is actually
一
their
站完就
win or lose, their best finish at the World Juniors ever.
力量，加油！
Improving on the 7th
出
place
甩一下。
by Liu Xijia in 2010, placing 7th. Wang Bingyu placed 9th in 2005. It's only the 5th time China has participated in this competition.
啊，没有10，正常带着点，正常
They've had a bit of a dry spell since 2010.
正常。
Now maybe some juniors coming up.
Want to bring this right in and freeze on top of the Canadian stone. Just drops the guard again.
行，不说了不能下线擦吗？
出来别着急。
But it's usable there. So Canada will try and remove it.
Do you want to play it this way? Sure. Okay. Peel here.
Okay.
Okay.
9.
Okay. Like you can.
Just a little flop on the other side of center.
Yeah. Nice and smooth. 9-8.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Chris.
Yep.
Sit. Okay. Okay.
I got 9.
Tips about in the rings. Very good result from Canada.
或者直接旋过去也行，还是可甩一点。不，可掉吧，你要再甩人直接占位了。再来一个，美妮儿。上把力量的提一点，上把力量不够，上把力量就可以，上把力量提一点。
China want to make the most of the guards they have out front. Try and draw behind them.
力量，这个
Looking for a first ever
这两带着点，顶线带，
medal
减速器，
for the Chinese women.
底线来，底线带着点。
And the juniors would be the 13th nation
可以，
to medal
下起来，孙志玉，
since its
孙志玉全力。
start in 1988.
哦，
Canada is on top with 11 gold medals. So it's quite a difference in pedigree for the teams, the nations playing this afternoon.
Okay.
Do you ever just like?
We can play it tight and play 9. Yeah, I think I like 9 to just try and squirt it as much as we can.
Unless you want to just straight pick.
Looks like that's just dead jamming, no? Aren't they like slightly offset?
I like this.
I think you could get it, but
Okay.
I like your first call, I think,
Yeah,
Kate.
I think we just try and get, yeah.
If we get this, even if it jams, then
Yeah,
I'll just
even
get on
those
that.
at least should
Yeah.
move it a little. I just said a little.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, nice 9 here. Let's go.
And with curling being a fairly new sport in China, they spend a lot of time in Canada to learn the game. So they're always learning from the Canadians.
Okay, that's fine.
Good shot there by Kristen Clark. Just right on top of the red.
干啥？磕甩。你磕着咱这可就露出来了。
Quite tough to remove that yellow
力量大一点，
for China.
把他也往后磕。你就头往这边甩，这个球他要是能磕到这儿也行，不行的话他在墙上挡一点也行。如果要大，他把3往下垫也行，你就是磕甩过来，场地线比较涩，最少得是个底线的劲儿。你给我掰边点就行，我刚才给美妮儿掰边点。
Yeah, even coming up and half checking and the top of that Canadian stone. A gentle tap
3秒5，
to leave the angles a bit more difficult for Canada.
嗯，底线的力量。
3秒5。
3秒5。
I don't. Are they just coming right to
He's trying to put up that corner guard very early in the end, and they really
再
haven't
12，底线力量12点。
made any attempt to use it to try and create a 2.
底线踏板，这的踏板，这线路够吗？减速了，底线，底线踏板之间，哇哇哇哇哇！11 ，OK， 哇，好，哇，谢谢，哇。
Just going to straight tap this.
这容易给打出去都。好球 ，OK， 好球。
Not a bad result there with the tap. Canada do lie short, but if
挺好，好球。
they fail to guard or don't remove the red, there is a shot for China.
How much space is there?
How much air?
Like, do we need to
Does
get
it-
rid of that one if we're one?
Yeah, like.
Because like,
Unless we
forces
try the
down.
same
get
thing
through
again,
inside. I kind of want to look at it.
Yeah,
if
I
I'm
like
gonna
strip it. Just hit like as thin as you can.
I just want to have a look at this if I'm gonna be throwing.
Yeah, I think you can like it'll go.
Yeah, it'll.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's
Just
lots
hit
of
it.
space. Okay, I like it then.
We're third. Oh, we're third.
They're third.
Do we ever
Well, then,
just?
do we ever?
Because we're third. Do they ever
We
just
could
hit?
just
They
draw
hit
a
roll right
guard.
after.
I don't mind
That's
just
true.
this because a force is fine.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
I think too.
A little gutsy.
But
I was gonna say, do they have the double off ours? Like it's pretty flat, but don't think so.
I think it's really flat.
I don't
Okay.
think that's there.
I like that.
Do you
I
like
think
it?
this.
Like
really
you guys trying to
even?
guard? Okay. We just gotta make sure
Just-
because it'll snap.
I
We
think
just
in
gotta
line with the curling rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
just biting center.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, not
'Cause it'll
even
snap.
fighting center. I
Okay.
don't think.
I think so. It's pretty tricky for them to get that out.
Yeah, because we don't want to leave, like, because they could play quiet if we're not.
Yeah.
So not quite to center.
I thought she said. I don't know what. I thought we were like 2-3. Or like.
Do you guys like that ice, or do you think a hair more?
I don't mind
hair more.
Okay, can I have a hair more?
We can definitely
Okay.
finish it.
So a nice tight 3 here.
So a good team discussion there about the best
15.
options.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And they're quite happy to put up a guard and try and force or steal here. They are line short, so if they guard this,
Easy then.
Line's good.
China are going to have to chase it.
All you needs to work. This looks like a lot.
Yeah. Top 12. Top 8.
Freeze it.
It's there.
Yep.
We're there.
Whoa,
We're there.
gotta be nose.
Yep.
We're there.
Gotta be nose. Whoa.
So coming in a bit further than they'd hoped,
Hey.
and actually gets a very good
19-7.
result.
Terrible.
That's not bad.
They can get both.
什么力量啊？还是叫个暂停，你来看一下这个脚。哎呀，时间啊，还行。行，实在不行把咱们这个对这个球就是这个球给他往里稍微带一点都没事儿。
反正那意思是想把那个球好像打掉一下。
Even if they take the top yellow and roll behind cover,
差不多是一点。你要打甩的话，
you know they could
可
be
能会
lying
碰着
second, third, and fourth shot. So Canada need to be very careful then.
正常力量。好，给你这个点。
是要打甩是吗？还是
对。
OK。
脚儿挺错，反正把自己的球往里刮一下也可以。
行，
正常力量吗？
没问题。
对。
加油。觉得下来前就带着，后期扎的大。
出来前期不着急，后期顶上带着点。
That's a pretty good result there.
好球！
Airline second, third, and fourth shot.
Yeah, probably leaves an in off of that redstone to get to that yellow shot.
我没喊我，
I don't think Canada can afford guarding again.
喊的，我一直喊的惨。然后我投完了之后，我说了一句我说帅，不是我投完了，我说了一句帅大了。对，我看桂花，然后那个红的，但这样也行，但它刮一点的话，听着不是好听。
Even though it's leaving them that, I think.
Yeah, no, I like this. We gotta play that.
9.5.
Okay, let's go. Right in there would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
Canada
out
can
to it.
roll inside
9.5,
here.
let's go.
Remove that red and roll inside.
Hard.
Working this one really hard to hold the line
whoa,
though.
whoa, whoa, whoa! No, it's the red, so it doesn't
She's
spin
caught
it.
the top one.
Okay,
Didn't really do any damage, but it was a lot
10-4, just
tighter than
tight.
she intended to play. So it does give China the opportunity now
基本上打定就行，师姐就按打定就行，因为在
to
偏
really put the pressure on to Canada.
哎呀，大定，出来听我的，
What
美宁。
a turnaround this could be.
OK。
Chance to lie at 4.
我刚反应忘了听我说啥。
Can't see the whole red stone.
Maybe just.
She wants to basically see us hit as much as she can see.
Maybe just nose hit here and squeeze that top red in behind cover. So just kill the yellow here and sit forward. It's pretty good.
Oh, they're sweeping really hard. They've got to pass this top guard.
Needs to get past. Will just. And that's a great shot by Dong Se-shi. We lie 4.
Oh,
Okay, so you think just like, okay,
a wee bit of stone bumping there in the house.
yeah, either tight to the guard or
出来就有点小了，
Oh, big smiles now. Like that.
Do you guys
看
like
来中间
that?
有一度有点擦出来了。
Great
Yeah.
shot.
Have to.
Just past the guard by
I think
nothing.
that's the call, yeah. Because even a flop and a rock, your second shot.
I still think this
She
is the right
actually
idea.
did
Yeah,
touch
just
that
9-5.
stone
That
with
was
her brush
10-4.
and
Okay.
Right out to it.
I don't really think she moved it at all, but anyway, they just moved it a millimeter back.
这个他再打一个，我的差不多能吹，然后咱们再自己再投一个或者。
So, Caitlin Jones needs to make a good one here. She can hit off the inside of this red and roll right into the 4-foot behind the staggered reds.
9.5.
Should make it difficult to remove.
Really need to make one here. Make up for that first mistake. Put some pressure back on China to score.
Whoa! Let it come up. Yeah,
Trying
yeah.
for the roll. Doesn't quite get there. Where does it sit? Only 4. Fourth shot. It's an open draw to score 4. Wow.
这个不也赢吗？
Where did that come from?
何苦那么冒险？不是，我这样让他前面还有那什么，我可以磕一下。你最后一投。对，给我白边点就行。白边小，你信我。那你就白边再发。OK。这一点
I think just that.
比我小一点，矮一点。
I know, but I think we could have slept for it.
磕一下前头4期的那个球，咱
I'm
们
just
也
saying, you
进。
did miss this.
没事，加油，可以加油。
就这样来就
4
行
吧。
四，
但是你不用太狠，我们可以擦
你
冰。
14秒就可以，
Wow.
我们可以一直擦出来。
14秒擦一擦就
Just
可以。
shows how an end can turn
然后一直用底线带
a
着。
few half shots and
这边减速大，力量可以稍微大一点。
it was beneficial for China to blank that last end now.
Dong Se-shi was looking at the stone top 12 to see
可以，可以。
if she had the backing.
带一带，底线，底线。
Not quite the
反定 OK，直线路。
thought process you should have when you have all of the 8-foot to draw to.
顶线来，顶线。
A bit of a panic and indecision with the sweeping. Will end up catching that top 12. Is it enough to get there for fourth shot? I believe so. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tied game. All of a sudden.
Red 4.
Red 4 indeed.
Yeah.
5-5 after 5 ends played. At halftime, teams will have a 5-minute break. China will have the momentum. Canada will have lots to think about as we have 5 more ends to go. China, Canada. The 2 versus 3 semi-final. A chance for Caitlin Jones.
9-4.
Make the nose hit to score 2. Great start for the Canadians.
Everything there curls.
Okay, just to be patient there, because we. So yeah, let's go.
China is forced to score a 1 in the second end. Then a great chance for Jones to pick up 4. Just catching this Redstone top 12, a bit too thin, rolls out, still scores the 3, up 5-1 after 3 ends of play.
That's good, guys.
The blank and forth takes us to the 5th end, and look at that, 3 reds for China. They have a chance to draw, to score 4 and tie the game, and that draw is made. Tied game coming into halftime. You can see Sweden is up 6-2, playing Norway, stealing a point in that 5th end. But from what we just saw, you can always score a 4 back and tie it. So still a chance for Team Norway, although they are playing the reigning world champions.
该击打击打，该控制控制，有机会，咵，这小好点线，想会一会场地那个变化，数据的变化，往前连续成功率，能控制住就控制住，控制不住就是过流过去也行，但绝对不要给3分，注意好最后这个双数局，不行打11局，打加局，时间还是需要稍微注意点。
Start a good 6th. Okay? Yeah. Let's do it.
That's good cheese, just saying.
Is it? Get out. If you're going to do slides, you got to move, Linz. Go, Linz.
Now you can see the stats very evenly matched, 71%. It's maybe the draws faulting Canada a wee bit. As you see the scoreboard, wacky, giving up a 4 in the 5th end. But Canada will have the last on advantage in what is essentially a 5-end game.
看一下，擦一擦，擦一擦，擦一擦，减速了，擦一擦，正常擦。别下去，正常擦。
Back in action here in the sixth end. China, Canada, semi-final World Junior Curling Championships 2018. Coming to you live from the Curl Aberdeen Ice Rink in Aberdeen, Scotland. Here to give you the play-by-play, myself, Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by Rona Howie. It's been an interesting game so far. Looked like Canada was going to run away with it, but somehow gave up a 4 in that fifth end just before the half-time break. How does that feel coming off the ice, having done that if you're a Canadian?
Yeah, Canada would be pretty annoyed at that stage. You know, to be 4 up, quite happy to force 1, and they just got sucked in there. To China playing the drawing game, and Canada played too many half shots there. So they'll be really annoyed going into the fifth end break. So I would imagine they'll come out fighting at this end. They want to get their 2 back. So all of a sudden, from them peeling guards and keeping it clean, Canada are now putting up their guards to try and score 2. So when it's been that momentum change, this is where Canada need to just take advantage of that last stone and get their 2 back here.
Like 10. Okay. Like you can. Right
But
up here.
Canada have really got to forget that they've just lost a 4. You know, what's the scoreboard, right? It's 5-all. We've got last stone advantage and we've got 5 ends to play, and that's what they have to think about now.
Close. Yep. Yep. High! Any roll. Okay.
So try to get the roll with the shooter.
9-8.
Doesn't bury.
有掉线啊！9秒，9秒，快手加油！9秒。9秒！
Mini just wanting to hit this and stay in the house, lie 2.
太近了，往哪唱？行，挺好。
So they're well away from the corner guard. Canada just ignoring them.
Yep.
Just trying to use the corner to get round and get cover.
Slide here, so.
Yeah, nice and easy. We can drag it.
Line's good.
Carly Burgess had a fairly steady game so far today.
Back 12.
Yeah.
Back 8.
Where?
The sweepers are saying there's plenty of weight on this. It needs to sit in the rings.
Sit. That's 13-1.
Well,
Slides out.
it's the second time she's gone through the house on the in-turn down the centre line. Did that in the first end as well. Just adding a little bit too much on release, I think.
And that's one of these ones when you're coming around your corner, you can afford to come up short and even leave another guard. It's not a disaster. But to go through the rings is a wasted stone. So now all of a sudden China are peeling guards. They want to eliminate the chance of a 2. Just nicked it out. Still in play though. But it's not really covering very much of the house.
Or you can just do that.
Straight freeze isn't bad.
Do you ever just hit and flop? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, right up, like you can.
Canada don't need to do anything too clever. They blank this end just to settle them back down again. It's not a disaster.
10, please. Yep, 10,
But they don't want to try anything clever and then lose anything against the hit when they've got hammer.
Chris! Really gotta go. Even if it's there, that's fine.
Okay.
9-4.
Okay.
So just a nose hit.
大力吗？是大力吗？不是，我问你的。正常。单打一个能大力吗，姐姐？来，一直踩，一直踩，全力！
Sweeping this one really hard to hold the line. They don't want to be on the inside and jam it.
力量太小了，架量
But a complete miss.
都小，然后出手也有点太小心了。OK， 因为这边往上飘，蓝边开始往上飘，不敢像之前那么出手。那你就可以让我给你收点，这球打外角双飞都行。但是跨点我还觉得不行，我这点我都觉得点大。
Good to have communication with your skip as to what went wrong there. So Kristen Clark down a bit for this game, just 68%. Trying to draw the other side. Lie 2.
Make sure it's at least full 12. Gotta be at least full 12. We're there.
Don't want to leave a double, so just level it up with the other yellow.
Well, we're fine.
Sit. Okay, that's good. That's 14-4.
So China will just now try and hit this one and roll over towards the other one. Just ending up nosing it.
你那球到后期不掉，我这掉得特
Canada
别
could
大。
draw around that.
我就觉得你有点深，你出手之前我就看着。我不敢出，我现在下来了。不知道。他一直喊，他说喊的形容我。
Okay.
我俩没抬。
10. Okay. 10 here.
If Canada knows this, they won't be second shot.
Let's go. I don't think it'll go crazy.
So they need to roll it in to lie 2.
Yeah, 10. Well,
10. Whoa! Whoa!
stay close. Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta be shot.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, played that really nicely.
就要打甩。你啊？就要打甩。什么？就要打甩。你如果打成 double 的话，打不好的话，那都是相关球，而且你头肯定定不了，要打 double。打甩。9秒。9秒。
China just want to hit this top one and roll over. The double is there. Just hit it too thin.
OK。
Split the rings? Okay, so just top 8. Okay, what was mine?
I got 14-4.
Okay.
Just needed to catch that slightly thicker.
Okay, 14.5.
Catch the other yellow.
出来有点他着急呢。因为感觉说你中线，我一开始先等一等，然后一看你。
Okay, let's go. Nice and easy.
So Caitlin Jones having a great game today.
Line's good.
80% at skip.
Weight's close. Top 8. Top 8.
19-year-old from Halifax,
Great
Nova
play,
Scotia.
Just top 8. Just top 8.
Right there.
Wants to put this second counter in.
T. Your T. Okay, well, right here then. Right here. Yep.
Plays that really nicely.
Good.
Lies 2.
That's good. That's good. 14.
Just did a jam to middle 7. Okay, she's just flopping into them.
So China just want to hit this and roll in a fraction to lie short. I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, and she does that. Lie short, so forces Canada to hit and sit
We have lots of room.
for 2.
Scoring 2 in the evenings, always a good thing.
10.
Actually, I think after that 5th end with Canada losing 4, this will just settle them back down. They can get their simple 2 here.
Just clean.
Whoa.
Played a nice controlled weight.
Good.
Does it around for 2.
2 yellow.
Good end by Canada following that 5th end. Maybe
1.
that 5-minute break was a good thing for them to
end,
recompose, come back out and play a good end. They are up 7-5 after
like it.
6.
Let's just keep making simple shots for us.
Yeah, just the simpler
That was a
we
good
can
end.
on this
Yeah, it was good
ice,
end.
the better.
Very patient.
Let's go.
Good.
Top 4.
Top 8.
Kristen in.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Top 4.
Going now. Hard.
Even if it's over here, yeah. Good
Right
catch, guys. Yeah, 14-1.
Good. I'm pretty sure she said Carly in not long after she threw.
I know, yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Okay.
China now want to get up their corner guards.
自然停，自然停，美妮儿带着点，美妮儿带着点，别让动脐带。美妮儿带着点，别让动脐带啊。好球！OK。
Plays that well.
Make it good, like you can. Few feet less.
Nice and crisp here. Really swings at the end.
Always really good communication between the player in the hack and the sweepers.
3. Close.
2.
Important not to over-communicate as well.
Mine's perfect.
Just say the right things. Those couple of few pointers that can help. This one will pull up a bit short. Pretty good line.
Okay,
Good.
Just leaves it a bit long.
15-1.
And that's where it's good to the team dynamic. You know your players in your team. Some people like lots of information and some don't want any information when they're sitting in the hack. So it's good to know exactly what your player needs. So China just drawing round this longer guard to try and freeze the Canadian shot in the house. Just heavier than she meant to be, so they could nick off it and roll over. Actually get a really nice result.
12秒62，力量太大了。
You like 10 or 9.5? It's edge on edge. Doesn't matter. Whatever you know better. Kind of like 10. I think 10. Yeah.
Okay, like you can. Right up. Hair down.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Lindsay, for peace.
Hard.
Okay, 9-6.
Okay,
Just hit some rolls out.
that's 9-6.
China could ignore that and just draw around their corner that they put up. But they could also hit this and roll. It's always hard to get the perfect roll. On the high side. Just hits it on the nose. So at least Canada now that opportunity to get the roll.
Yep.
I like under.
What do you like better?
I like under.
I think 10 again. Okay.
Smidge less. Like you can.
Different countries have different ways of communicating the weights they want to play.
9-8. Pair up. Lindsay. Go, Linz. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Hard. Yep.
And they roll over behind the red, but I don't think it's fully buried.
Okay.
China can see nearly all. So here's a chance for them to use a corner guard if they can hit this stone and flop over in behind the guard. Roll slightly back towards the centre. Stone's going back and forward across the sheet. Nobody getting right behind cover.
Or this.
Whatever you know in this spot.
I'm thinking we keep it here.
Yeah, that's true. It'll come up.
High guard, yeah.
Okay,
Let's go.
let's make it 10-5.
Weight's good. Whoa. Pair up. Whoa.
Away. Roll away.
Yep.
And another one.
10.
I just feel whoever gets this roll first is going to be at a big advantage here. Oh, and finally we get a roll behind cover, so advantage China.
Just peel.
Yeah, probably.
Taking a look at Sweden-Norway playing in that other semi-final. Sweden scoring 2 in the 7th end now.
Okay, let's go.
Very much in control, playing Norway. 8-3 with 4 ends to go. 3 ends to go, rather. Unless Norway is able to tie it for the extra. The winner of that game will play the winner of our game here. The losers of both the semi-finals will play the bronze medal game. Straight Olympic format semi-finals. Unlike the page playoff system we've seen in the past.
往边儿来吧。行。自己我决定，你是问我干啥？行，加油。
China just Drawing to the other side. Try and keep as much separation between their two stones. They've set up this end nicely for a 2 now.
6，
It's taking a while to come off the centre line.
不擦了，没问题，不擦了。为啥不能擦？往后擦。没问题，不要暂停。大步，我没有大步，不，没有，好球，好球，好球，好球！你俩擦边那一瞬间，我觉得这
With
是
the,
predictable.
yeah, with the intern.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that a ton.
So Carly's one,
So a good shot there from China. Fly 2.
我说到。
They've got hammer here.
Right up.
Canada want to try and just hit this and roll behind the centre guard. But as we've seen all end, it's very difficult to get that perfect roll.
right to center. Let's go. Straight up.
Clean. 9, 8. Whoa. Yes. Yes. Hard. Any roll.
Just don't
9,
make
5.
the roll.
Just went.
It'll be tough for China not to leave a double though. I'm sort of building up higher in the house. Impossible to hit this yellow and leave it perfectly flat.
Yeah, if anything, they'd probably want to roll out, further out to the wing, just to make the distance even greater between the two. Sweeping this really hard to hold it. They could have actually upped there and let it go out a bit more.
Definitely worth a go. By the ice.
Let's make it.
Looks like they're just thinking hit and roll.
Let's make it, Kate.
Is it too flat to
Same weight.
make the double here, you think?
Okay. Let's make it.
It's quite a long double across the house. I think Canada feel the hit and roll is a better shot.
Yeah, taking a second look. It does look
Clean. Yeah.
maybe a tad too tough. Rolls a bit too far here.
2 different reactions. Up.
Caitlin Jones leaves the whole house for China to draw and score their 2. Tie this game again.
加油！场地没变化也没变，所以就是还是14秒。加油！我要灯特别小，告诉我一声啊。可以，出去就顶线带着点，因为这面掉的大。OK。给一点，给一点。力量，给的大。我看一看。6可以指线路。我带着啊，带着点。6没问题，全击就行。线路很好。那就顶线带着，顶线带着，顶线。顶线。可以了，可以了，可以了。
Don't think she maybe needed to be as close to the guard as that. But anyway, she makes it.
Yep, a little bit of a scare, but gets past and into the house. Score of 2 for Team China. They will tie this game.
Yeah, go for 2.
Quite a high-scoring game so far.
So 2 force
Yeah.
2.
Through 7 ends of play, it is 7 points each.
So nice.
3 more ends to go.
Yeah, that's what we used before. And we threw a draw going like
团，你这
那他大有这个。
不是。Sorry。行，团团，下次这种刚大点迎边的就不要了，让他站位行吗？
China comes into the house with 3 ends remaining.
Gotta go.
China won't mind a blank here. China, of course, really wanting to score. Just look at the scoreboard, 3 more ends to go. If Canada can score here, they leave China to score in the 9th. They get to score again in the 10th end, essentially scoring 1 more time than their opponent. Even scoring just a single point here is not dreadful for the Canadians. As we see the lead comparisons, fairly evenly matched so far through the 7 ends of play.
还是小姐姐。丽丽。
89。
等一等，等一等，下。
那就。
正常来，正常擦，正常来。
I thought we might have seen China put up a centre guard here.
我觉得行嘛，你不是正常了？
因为力量大，稍微斜着。
Well, they've actually ended up doing that.
要不然的话，正常的话不用直接传后区没有用吗？
That wasn't the call.
啊，他想，不行，分成俩也行。
那打吧。
Canada really want to
I
go
don't
for
think
their
you come all the
2.
way around, though.
Great place
We're not gonna be
to
shot.
score for their 2 at 8.
Like the hit and flop.
You like straight freeze?
I don't mind the hit and flop,
Sure.
but
Straight freeze or hit and flop.
Yeah, I like. How much do you have?
It's edge. Okay.
let's make this good. Like you can.
Weight's good.
T-line.
It's T-line. Mine's good.
Back
Mine's
4.
good. T-line. Mine's good.
Back 4, we're bumping.
Well
yeah,
then.
little bump.
Okay, well then. Well then. Yep.
So Canada trying to use their corner guard that they've put up. Let's freeze this.
Okay.
Just catches off the inside.
What was that? 13-3.
站一个，我把站位打掉吧。
把站位打掉，人不2分吗？
你把站位打掉，他打咱后头那个黄的比他近，他也有难度啊。你现在投一个，你2分压他。OK， 行。加油，加油！80。
China just looking to freeze on top of this now.
力量，6、7。
走一道，线的。
7，力量够，线路不够啊。哎，顶线擦寸，东斜顶线，顶线。哎呀，
This one hanging pretty straight though. They're going to split the front red.
擦呀，给人留大波子。
别擦了。
OK。
So an error there from China. Gives Canada the opportunity now
For now. I don't mind the hit on that.
to try and
for
create
now,
a 2 at this end.
But
I don't love that. Unless you want to do this.
I kind of like that.
I like that. This half. Okay. You like 9?
Okay, like you can, car, nice and smooth. Right up.
You can see the comparisons there for second players. Quite low stats for them, but very similar.
Hard to stick. Okay, well.
So just trying to catch this red on the nose. We've done that. Does give China the opportunity now to hit and roll over.
加油，美妞。
China do lie 1 at the back of the 4.
9秒。
They can roll off this one over to the 4 foot, lie 2.
9秒。Hurry！ Hurry！
Just caught it too thin. Bounces off her own, and that puts that one More in the open for Canada now to hit and lie to.
You want to stick it. So.
How an end can turn quickly.
Yeah, it would have been much better to catch that thick and roll close and nestle up against that yellow stone. And have that red stone as backing.
10-8. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Whoa, whoa, Lindsay, hard.
So they don't want to leave a nest here.
Sit, okay.
And just rolls out.
What was that?
We can see Sweden picking up the win against Norway. I believe a steal of 1 for Sweden in the 8th end. A 9-3 final score.
Why are they dancing as bunny rabbits?
It's the weirdest thing they do. I think it's more of a duck thing.
Oh, okay. So China could have drawn round here and tried to freeze that Canadian stone, but they've gone for the raise.
Wow.
Plays it perfectly.
Nice one. Runs it back, sticks it.
Yeah.
11 and a half.
Do you like this ice or do you like a hair more?
Absolutely perfectly.
It's probably good,
You
right?
see the shooter rolling away slightly, leaves the tiniest of gaps for Kristen Clark to navigate through and get to that red stone.
11.
Never just tick the red, you leave China sitting 2.
12. Oh!
Sweepers going hard here to get it past that corner guard.
She's played enough weight to tap. Oh,
And double tick, and again, China will lie 2. And a chance to draw in again.
China in a really good position now to force Canada to their 1 here.
别投，不要后边选了。
Or even go for the steal.
多大力量？还是3秒8？
不行，8。
See the comparisons for the third players. Kristen Clark just slightly ahead.
我5区就行，线有点大，现在。看一下，我顶线。
It's important for China to leave this one top tee. They don't want to go back to give Canada something to freeze on.
线路不用藏死吧？
下线，下线，下线，再来，嗨！好球，好球。
Yeah, plays that pretty nicely. Does leave a double for Canada if they want to go for that.
稍微应该再高点吧。
I was thinking the side one underneath everything, but
Yeah. What?
I was thinking the side one underneath everything, but
Okay. Even right in line with that red. Like just like here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they don't have to.
Want to throw 10 and a half?
yeah. Okay, so a little more than what I just threw.
Yeah, let's go. Put straight.
Let's make it.
So a key shot here for Kristen Clark. Lying 3 against.
Whoa.
Needs to get a good result with their shooter.
再出来，再走，再
Very close to perfection, but rolls just a tad too far. Hard to say who has the second shot. Surely the red one at the back is closest to that Curl Aberdeen
我感觉
logo.
咱也2个。这个漏多少？
They'll not be able to see that whole yellow stone.
站个位。
I'd say it's quite close for second shot.
咱们现在是2个。
I'll go all out and say it's red.
我想站一个呢，你别投，你投的那么近的话，人直接打你2个。
哦，我觉得4区比站位好，因为站位的话有点，他就先站咱们了，往这投。
你这局咱要不是给他1分都可以吗？
2分呗。
目的是什么？
现在2个键。
就这个位置，行吗？
就是4区，然后另一条就3区，行吗？
So this is where China looking to guard the shot at the back of the 4 foot, but it's because it is back tee, it would allow Canada to
4区
draw
另
right
一小
round
的
and
3区站
freeze.
位。
OK。对面掉线带啊，你要转过顶线带着。
力量站位，
顶线。
4区全力往4区撒。哇，4区不撒了，不对，力量大，哦，
差点传了，
擦一擦得死，不行，擦一擦。
So looking to put this just close to the rings.
可以了，我。
Starting to overcurl it.
好球！
Tad. It's pretty close to where they wanted that one.
Yeah, I think they're 2. Yeah.
Do you think we're third?
I mean, even just
we're
top
third.
top button's pretty good since they're overlapped. Like she'd have to kind of
I did a
cross it a little.
14.7 on that.
Like
I'm
if they
thinking
could
like
get
it's low 14s.
okay, like you can.
Skip stats. Not much in it now. Caitlin Jones going down a bit. That was always the danger with China putting that one there. Canada would use it as cover.
Yeah, I think so, Kate.
Yeah, could they have come into the top 4 half around their own red, left you know, jam possibility onto the yellow.
Yeah, even if they'd nudged their own red up a fraction. Got quite a lot of room to play with here.
Can you hear the Canadians, pardon me, saying 14-7 on that draw by China. Swept it quite a bit. So it seems like it's just that tad slower this afternoon, maybe around closer to 14 seconds than 14 and a half. Big sweep from the Canadians as well. 14 on the nose to try and drag this past. Looking pretty good here, letting off it. And this will slip into the button. Great draw by Caitlin Jones. And a good sweep by Burgess. And Burgess. So maybe just that half second slower for this game.
So here China just need to freeze on top of that, force the one. Don't want to be too clever and try and tap it and then roll out themselves and leave Canada an easy shot for 2.
What's the tolerance here?
So even finishing top 4 in the 8 foot blocks that draw, but the whole 4 foot's open. So ideally if she could just freeze on top of that Canadian stone, it would be perfect.
Did just see Caitlin Jones throw this draw down here. Should have seen the speed and the line as you see the 4th player jumping in. Quite a lot of switcheroo on the sweep. Interesting way to do it, but this one's looking pretty close for line. Does it have enough legs to get all the way down there? Not quite. But decent tolerance, leaves in the draw path for Canada. They're going to have to come a lot wider and get a piece of the 4 foot. You don't see this very often.
No, I don't know.
The switcheroo. So
the thrower.
The thrower comes in, relieving. But then yeah, I mean, that's the new one for me.
I'm in. No, you're in. No, I'll do it. No, you do it.
Sometimes you do see a player come in to be 3 sweepers, but generally 2 sweepers is enough. The 3rd one supposedly doesn't add very much. And this draw is gone already. Not even the Burgess Cousins able to carry this one down to the 4 foot for Canada. It will just be the 1. Still not bad for Canada though. They will lead this game 8-7. 2 ends remaining, but this will be a lot closer than it looked after 3 ends of play, that's for sure.
Let's get a good force here. So they'll want to probably blind, so go tight.
So tight around.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. Like we can. Just enforce here, guys. Keep it that.
A centre guard up by Lindsay Burgess. Quite long. Coming down to team preference here. How to approach the last two ends for both teams, really. China could go for a score of 2. Have a 1-point lead coming in to the 10th end. But you do see some teams try and blank this end, retain the last on advantage, and then rather score a 2 for the win. And the final end.
Tight here?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you can.
Just by coming around the centre guard. That does send a bit of a signal that China might want to blank. For Canada to throw that centre guard certainly sends a signal that they would like to force a score here. If you can force China to score 1, that would be ideal for the Canadians. They'll be tied coming home with last stone. Even if you give up 2 to China here, you're coming home when the last stone can score 2 back for the win. Teams are pretty comfortable with that. Did you ever have a preference, Rona, to be 1 up without or 1 down with?
I would prefer to be 1 down with.
So you might see Canada play with a bit of risk here to get the force, even if it means giving up 2.
Yeah, definitely. Because so if I was China, I'd be quite happy to blank this end and go into 10 1 down with. And I think it's all on teams' preferences. With the free guard zone rule, it is slightly easier to score your 2, because if you get that corner up, then it's a fairly straightforward 2. However, with this good swinging ice, it's good to come round the centre to steal. So I think we're going to see both these teams fighting out here. Who wants what the most?
Yeah, quite often a key end. This 9th end. Both teams just really trying to position themselves for the 10th.
That was a great shot to remove that from the button.
单听一个也可以啊。
China now peeling at least the top guard. All wide on this release.
好球，好球 ，OK， 好球。
Does get the 1.
我来了，我来了。
Both teams have got enough time to play their 2 ends.
I had 13. Yeah, I had 13-5.
China have got 9 minutes and Canada have got just under 9 minutes. So usually you need about 3 minutes per end.
Wanna go? Felt like a lot though. Felt like, take a look. Wait, it's close. Take a look, guys. Whoa. Whoa, this looks like a lot. Yeah,
Coming down.
No. Looks like a lot still. Yeah, guys, take a look.
It's always important to have that spare time in the business end of the game, because you don't want to be rushing shots when it gets down to this crucial stage.
Beautiful draw by Carly Burgess. Top 4, no double.
这边吗？不得。
睁开吗？
轻开。哇哦！我可以。OK， 好球。哎呀。
Very good. Opened up the front.
OK， 好球。
So you just see Canada now replacing the centre guard.
Just in between the rocks.
They need to get the line right because there is a double on these
2-3,
two Canadian stones in the house. And China do have one biting the back.
So if you're going to show anything of the top yellow here,
3.
show the side.
Mine's good.
2. Just in between here.
Mine's good.
Not the side where the other yellow is.
Yes.
We'll leave you after, guys.
They want this in theory if it's going to...
Weight's good. To your broom.
Really moving. Really moving.
They want it to
Not quite
curl
there,
too
not
much
quite
over
there.
the centre line so it
gotta
covers
sit.
the inside.
Just let it sit. Holy.
Will in fact cross that centre line a bit. So definitely no double. Shows the right side of the shot.
好。顺着来呢，
我看看能不能把那块刮掉一个。
把中间那刮掉呗。
不是，得刮那个，刮中间的站位不是定那儿了吗？
你要打这个也是留头。
Still peeling.
打一
Team China.
对。
So probably still hoping to maybe get the blank here. They're going to have to make a double or two.
哇，
Keep just making the single peel.
好球！
I don't think they'll get their blank. And you wonder if they might have to switch here and go for a score of 2 rather than
Yeah.
Okay.
keep just peeling that guard. They'll be forced.
Yeah.
As it lies, they'll have to draw the button even.
Yeah, it's not easy to outdraw that one just now, so they might need to just try and change tactics here and go for their 2.
Just a 3.
Wasn't too bad of a spot to do that.
Top 12, top 8.
On the previous one, that guard was pretty long.
It needs
Might
to sit.
be
It's
helped
like
here
two
though.
If this comes too far, it might leave an easier double.
13-9. Sit. Okay.
So it has come into the rings.
打掉。
This is an opportunity for China to lift that one
Yeah.
and one behind it.
大力，
大力。
And it means if they do lift a double and keep the shooter in the house, they've got 2 counters in the house, so Canada will need to be careful.
Yeah. Then Canada can't really guard again. What you got here? 1. Just through the hole. Very unlucky, but at least does leave that shooter in the top 12. And there's one in the back also. 2 Chinese counters in the house.
So unlucky here.
We have an easy double though if we don't make this guard perfect.
Right through the middle, but it has opened up the front as well.
We'll just
And this is where now, with 2 red
like straight
counters,
guard it. Like just do what we were doing on Chris's.
very difficult to guard perfectly now.
Here, though.
Either that or
Well, I'm just thinking like the force is fine here if we hit and flop in.
I don't
Whereas-
mind the hit and roll.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we're going all out on this guard, even if it.
We can show them this side. I don't
Okay.
know why she thinks we're gonna undercurl.
I don't mind the hit
You know what I
here.
mean? Like she said the double, but like.
As I say, if you do miss the
Okay.
guard
I like 10.
ever, you leave a double
you
for
can.
China to lie 3.
Definitely the right call to remove one of the Chinese counters and roll over.
If you make the hit and stick to lie 3, definitely quite a bit of a work for the Chinese to get their 2. At least to bring that back right into play. No guards either. Even a blank will be tough to pull off with only 2 skip rocks to come for Team China.
Yep.
Crucial to sit around here though. Leave the shooter in the house for a 3rd shot.
Whoa.
Starting to curl. Now trying to catch the back one, but it's too late. It leaves it outside the ring, so definitely a double now for China to sit 2.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
No gimme. Should be close with the double.
打完
But
咱
if you
们赢
catch
他
this
俩。
top yellow all too thick, you might spin the shooter out the side door.
大力，加油！
脚底整大力。
And try and catch it fairly thin. Spring across, get that 2nd yellow, keep the shooter. on the wing. And China could be looking good to score their 2, with only 1 stone to come from Caitlin Jones. Pretty close, coming down the center line here. 1 and 2, great double by Dong Sishi. China sets 2. There is a double back for Canada. Will they take it on?
Like 9.5. Okay. I like it. Like you can, Kate.
Go, Kate.
Great shot there to really put the pressure onto Canada to go for the double as well.
Either way now, it's pretty good for China. They'll get their chance to blank or score a 2.
对呀。你想想，你领先1分后手的话，你很容易就会这个你这实在不行的话，你0比0。
Looking to make a double herself.
Close, close.
Just saw Dong Sishi make 1. Can Caitlin Jones pull it off? 1-2. There we go. Back-to-back doubles in the semi-final. Real nice. The Skips are stepping up their game.
That's good. You never undercurl. You never undercurl. They're like over the top. I'm like,
like if I
just
saw
let
it,
it
we
come
can
up.
like cut it, like,
Drag it like
4 feet.
Yeah.
That way.
Those are not easy.
If you throw it like 6 times.
And now a very important shot for China to hit this yellow, try and roll the shooter away and out for the blank, retain the last stone advantage. If they would ever miss the stone or hit it on the nose to score the single point, it would be quite
huge
upsetting.
Advantage for Canada then if they did that.
Not the toughest shot in curling, but in a 9th end of a semi-final at a World Championship, every shot's just a little bit different. But this looks pretty good coming down. Will roll out for the blank. Well played by Dong Sishi. So it is still 8-7 for Canada. 1 more end to go, although the extra end is looming.
Let's make it good here. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's make these good.
All the way here, guys.
Let's go. Like we can. I gave it some.
We are down to the 10th end and quite possibly the last end of the semi-final between China and Canada. We know
We're not there.
who the winner will play in the gold medal game. Sweden is waiting. For the loser, Norway will await them in the bronze game. Sweden won their semi-final 9-3 over 8 ends. But this one will potentially go all the way down to the very, very last stone. Perhaps even an extra end, as China is 1 down with the last stone advantage. They will throw the corner guard to try and score a 2.
Just shows you though, Canada were 5-1 up after 3 ends, and you really thought they had control of the game.
Like you can. Just a little bit more.
Ended up giving up a 4 in the 5th end before half-time break. Came on to score 2, gave back the 2. And then Canada forced to 1 in the 8th end.
Yep, hard line.
A blank in 9 takes us here.
Really gotta go. Really gotta go.
Hard
Straight draw around. They heard there 13-7. The ice is running a bit slower today. You think with all week there's been 5 games on, so 10 teams. Today there was only 4. The atmosphere's slightly different.
Yeah, less body heat, less air movement. There's only the one sheet in action. As you see the raw clock. 13, 7 or 8 would be pretty close. This is a bit harder than that. They're sweeping it for line as well. It's certainly going to tap this yellow. That is not too bad there. Opens up that forefoot, open up the scoring area. Takes control of the top of the house with that red stone. A yellow can be a bit of a catcher. Don't mind leaving your opposition stones in the back of the house when you have that last stone.
11 and a half? I was thinking closer to 12, but I feel like 11 and a half. Okay.
Whatever you know the ice for. Okay.
So what's the
Like you can.
11 and a half.
Yep.
I mean, the speed of the ice is that bit different today. It's so important to be the first team that gets on top of that and communicate and work it out.
Really gotta go. Whoa. Whoa.
Cross it.
This is crossing the centre line. She's going to catch her own guard.
No roll.
She's now left China with another corner guard.
What was that?
11-2.
Okay.
不一定是谁进呢。
They're not too sure who shot, but I think China still have to come round this corner.
Try not to leave a double for Canada. Either come almost all the way down to that tee line or keep them level. Big sweep again.
Really pulling. Oh, she's just a bit heavier.
Slight oversweep. Could have a few inches on that guard. But that's it in the house. Potentially a point stone for China.
It's also something to jam off.
Yeah.
Like 10 and a half? Yep.
Okay, like you can. That was 11-2, so just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more, okay.
Like you can.
Yep. 10-5. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Lindsay, hard roll. Get it over there. Hard.
Yep. Okay.
This is the back one, which was the main goal there, and keeping the shooter in. Just unlucky not to roll a bit further behind the cover. China looking to get the roll with their shooter here if they can get behind cover. They're setting up their two.
Gonna have to watch that back yellow as well. Will that jam or do they get the double? This jam. Sits 4. Maybe even shot stone, Canada. Jones will confirm that. It is Canada with shot stone in the back.
第7局这个球，第8局的这个球，就是擦一直擦，然后打定了。那个只不是我
She
坚
was
持。
really unlucky there with where she caught it. But Canada need to be careful,
That's what I was
because there are 2 counters in the house of China.
Yeah.
Yeah. They come around and then we go on top.
Yeah. Like, I think we're in it at this point.
Yeah.
It's just they're gonna come
I think
around.
that's their best bet.
Yeah.
Why? I think that's their best bet.
I think we got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think for time?
Lindsay's was a 14-9 that was tight, so.
Okay. So like 15-5?
Yeah.
Do you like that ice? Because we want to cross center
Yeah,
a
I was
bit.
gonna say
Can I have a little bit less?
Nice and crisp though.
Yeah.
Let's go. Just touch the other side. Let's go. Two, three.
Mine's good.
Three on its own.
I'm throwing the guard.
Three.
This looks like a lot.
Top
Tight.
12.
It's over curling.
Tight three.
It's
Tight
over
three.
curling.
Can we freeze
They're saying it's top 12, so it's coming in. They could
whoa.
half check the red, which wouldn't be a bad result. Don't want to bounce off it though.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Not too bad there. Might even be better than the guard.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great result.
Not bad.
Sorry.
Timeout call by China.
3.
Means we'll have, I believe, Xu Zhu and Marcel Rock. Come out.
想好你干什么吗？没想好呢。是用把前面那个打一个，我现在就是清战
Marcel Rock
打赢你这个。
And Xu Zhu just sitting a couple of feet away.
打那个打定，或者是逆时针前进。No. First one pass. Second. How much 力量多少？力量多大？9秒。9秒。9 points.
Well, you just want to bump it a little bit.
Bump.
You just want to be shot. Just off angle.
这个脚不是头一个，看我
对。
太传击，
对，
传击，
磕一下
传击
子，
啊！
然后呢，停在它上面一个斜角。
嗯，正着磕就行。7、8就底线。OK， 下一个击打。OK。
有机会就拼2分，太难了就拿1分，有机会就拼2分直接赢。
OK。
加油！
你们还没到点儿呢。1负10。Go here。
对，传一个，完了想办法拿第2分。
只要能赢这个就行。
那你用踢线的力量磕正磕就行。对，踢线的力量正。
Always a slightly tougher, those timeouts with the translator.
踢线力量正磕磕稍微。
Two coaches.
正磕。
Seems like they've gotten somewhere though.
那个头不是啊，对，没毛病。
加油，王曦！8区的力量。
Playing a tap on these
就是进营力量。
top 2 stones are frozen.
这你半场得60。
So the thought is to tap and try and get that red in for shot, as well as maybe try and get that stagger away.
Yeah, so they only need to move that red a couple of inches to lie short back the way, and then if they can keep their shooter on the top, it'll give them a shot for later on. But they want to lie short after this. That's the key.
It's quite easy to tap this a little too far out in the open.
Played quite a big weight though. They don't need to play a huge weight at this.
Oh, I would really like to make contact with these here, but this one's just going to blow right past. Just threw that a little too heavy.
OK。
Hack weight almost. That certainly doesn't help the situation. We see that sometimes. You take your time out. Sometimes just kills the flow of the game, the momentum. Now that stagger on those stones top 12 helping Canada. And they can come around fully bird here. Very tough for China to get to.
Top 8. Top 4. Line only. Line's good. Top 4. Stay close. Yeah. Line only. Switch. Finish it.
Looking pretty good here. Just trying to get this to curl a few more inches. And it is top button, almost fully buried. Very nicely played by Kristen Clark, and a good sweep again by the Burgess cousins.
Two great shots from Kristen Clark at this end that really put the pressure on to China.
这2个球打掉。行。把鞋子打开。行。漏到这儿。你这第1个球全漏。打定不行也行，然后还能有顺着来呢。顺着稍微有点别，这个我不太建议。
Most important thing for China now, they need to make sure they're going to get in and score their one, so they do get an extra end at worst.
那行吗？我没说让你收点。大力还是9秒？大力。大力。加油！加油！
Trying to catch the inside of this top yellow stone. They don't want to be in the wide side.
Whoa. 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 Okay. 好球。
That does make the double. Leaves the shooter up front. Well, they guarded before. Will they guard again?
I think right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, Canada's sitting in a really nice position right now, sitting 1 and 2.
I was thinking the other side, because it's just going over the top. Like she doesn't have any.
If they put up a guard here, it's very difficult for China to outdraw that to get 1.
Right out to here. Me and Linz can really finish it. Yeah. Anywhere on my side is probably good. Let's go.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an easy.
Line's
2, 3.
tight. Gotta hold it out.
2. 3. Line only.
Line's good.
3.
Got room.
Line's good.
3. Tight 3. Right here.
Hard finish.
Yep. Hard finish.
Hard finish.
Just want this on the center line if you can get it touching.
15-6.
Doesn't quite curl enough. How much can China see of that red stone? Is it enough to tap it back onto that yellow?
She could even just come in and split the red and maybe give her 2 options for her next one, or she's got to open it up.
我感觉用这个稍微好一点，因为如果要这个球不成的话，我至少能把这个打开。行吗？
You'd really want to move that shot stone.
不行，把前面清开也行，堵他最后一个站不上。
我在这边给你点。
Got to give herself a chance with her last stone though. She needs to score 1 for an extra.
Thinking to make the double peel, top yellow onto red, and then hopefully also onto the shot stone. But if you just make the double peel, and Canada plays the perfect guards, well then, very tough draw. Would love to make contact with the shot stone here.
Speed, just
Pretty much make the treble, the triple.
like, yeah. We just got.
A little tight for line here. Just wanting it to over curl to at least open up something. Leaves. It's pretty similar to before Canada's guard. And they'll just guard again.
Yeah.
But they have moved those corner guards a little bit.
An inch more.
Might have a saver on the that wide corner now that was tapped up by the shooter of Dong Xieshi. That could possibly be the shot she'll play.
If she's been watching Ross White this week, she would have no fear of playing that.
That might even be for the win.
2. Got room.
First, we'll have a look at this shot by
2.
Caitlin Jones. Wants a piece of that center line.
Hard to finish.
Really needs to curl. Can't leave that red stone in the top 12 open to be run back by China. Doesn't get to the center line. Is that open enough?
And it's a longer guard, so there's more room to come round.
Definitely. And is it possible to make the run double to win the game here? I think so.
正常。
9秒。
对啊。
2.5 minutes on the clock for China.
行吗？你就按打定来。
大力呢？
你按正常来，他有点掉下，好判断。你这个如果要是按大力来的话，直接冲的话，我感觉不太稳妥。
不是，我觉得大力击打我差不多能找到点，因为9秒的话，
那你要是能找
这边哪个
你要能找着
点，
我就给你这个点。
给我这个点。我不太确定这边哪个点打定。
There's no question what the shot's going to be. The question is just what weight to throw. So main objective, run this onto the shot stone, score the 1 for the tie. But if you catch it perfect, that first yellow might go on to the back yellow, split that out, and that would be for the win. Well, that would be one incredible shot to end the semi-final. Taking a look at the clock, she's got lots of time to prepare. Just having a second look here.
It's very tight past the guard to lift the 2 anyway.
Well, it all comes down to this last stone here in the 10th end. Calling off the sweepers right away. Is this too wide? Will it curl enough? Trying to carve it in onto the yellow, onto the back one, but stuffs it. It jams, and it's a steal of 1 for Canada. Canada will progress to the gold medal game. So close to winning it right there. Dong Xixi for Team China. But not close enough. They will drop down to the bronze medal game to play Norway. Still China's best ever contest at the World Juniors for the women. And they'll have a second chance at medaling for the first time in history. Canada will have a chance to pick up another gold medal.
Good game. Good game. I think I got her.
They'll play Sweden, the reigning world champions, with 2
Yeah, I know.
world champions of their own
Just had to come up a little.
on the team. It certainly will certainly look like a classic bout between 2 curling greats for the final.
For the final. I just saved it for the last shot. I was like, meh, I'll make one.
Canada seem almost slightly more relieved than anything. They did have that 5-1 lead after 3 ends. Let China come back in the game.
Hey, we did it with grit.
But in the end, they close it out, but they needed a miss from China on that final shot. (9-7) final score. With that steal in 10 for the Canadians. We'll have some highlights. We'll have a few words in with Caitlin Jones as well. Sixth end with second shot. It's an open hit to score 2 for Caitlin Jones in Canada. No problems there. A great start for them after half-time, giving up that 4. But China does get the chance to score 2 right back and tie the game. Good draw by Dong Xixi. It's 7-7 after 7.
Yeah, that's what we used before.
Mike. Single point for Canada in 8th, a blank in 9 takes us to the 10th end. Final shot, run double possible for China to win the game, but it jams and Canada steals 1, wins the game, and will progress to the gold medal game. 9-7 final score. And that's how that works out. Norway loses to Sweden, drops down into that bronze medal game to play China, and we'll have Sweden take on Canada for the gold medal this year. We have Caitlin Jones with Rona Howie.
Well, Caitlin, many congratulations. World Junior Curling Championship gold medal game. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good. I mean, we played a battle to the end today, so we're lucky to be in the final. So we're going to come out tomorrow and have a strong game against Sweden.
So you were 5-1 up after 3 ends. You must have felt as though you were in control. What happened?
I think we just missed one key shot, and then that whole end turned around, and that's how curling works sometimes. If you miss one shot, everything can change. So, yeah, we just let ourselves down in the 5th end, but after that, I think we still played a pretty good game.
So now fighting for that gold medal, what are you going to do tonight to relax?
probably just sleep and try to get some rest. I'm a little bit sick still, so hopefully that sleep will make me feel better for the morning.
Well, congratulations today and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
So that's it for this afternoon's broadcast from the semi-final in the women's competition, but there's still more curling action left in the World Junior Curling Championships here from Aberdeen, Scotland. Thanks for watching.